So good evening everyone. Welcome to third class on current affairs. Let's get started. So what we are doing here is, as a part of the Eklavya program, every class we are discussing very important 30 themes from current affairs through questions. So if you want, before starting the class, let's have a look at the workbook and other features of the specially focused on current affairs quiz program. Current affairs test series program. So as a part of this program, we have the workbook, which is designed for developing some kind of integrated personalized book current affairs note for your current affairs preparation. Secondly, we have a test series consisting of 18 tests focusing on different sources like newspapers, Yojana magazine, science reporters, down to earth, etc. Almost all the magazines are comprehensively covered under the test. 18 tests covering all current affairs from 2022 January till prelims will be covered under this program. Okay, you can check out this. The link is provided in the description. Let's go ahead. So this is the third workbook under this program. Here the main topics are taken from the Down to Earth magazine. Yes, you can see these are the topics covered: cold desert, Karevas, Doomsday Glacier, Silent Valley National Park. So main focus area is on geography and environment current affairs topics. Okay, let's go ahead. So these are some of the pages from the current affairs. You can pause the video or check out this. Some samples are also uploaded in the Telegram group. You can check it out. So welcome again, and let's start today's program. So we have 30 questions to discuss. First question is here. I'll give you 30 seconds, go through the question and try to answer this. Done? So from last year we are getting questions in this format, like 1 pair is correct, 2 pair is correct, 3 pair is correct. So what difference it makes? Is it make easy comparing to old format of 1 and 2, 2 and 3? Comparing to that, this is tougher or easier? Same. Somewhere it is more tougher. In 1 and 2, what you can do, if you can know one option, you can eliminate 2 or 3 options, then you can do some jugaad and reach the answer. Here there is no way. You definitely need to know everything to have correctly answer these kind of questions. So this is a geography question. So what we are doing in this class, every week we are giving 2-3 questions from geography, different locations in news. So make a note of it. At least most important news topics in the like in discussion. Something like Ukraine, cities in Ukraine, Afghanistan. If India-China issues is happening, what are the cities in that locality? All these areas you should be very clear out. Whatever question in geography we are giving, just make a short note of it so that at the end of the day, you can revise it easily before the exam. So what is these 4 cities? Let's start it. Yangtze Valley. What is it? It is in China. It is not in China. Where is it? It is in India itself. It is in Uttarakhand. Yeah, near the Yangtze River. Yes. It is valley just near to the India-China or India-Tibet-Nepal tri-junction. This was in news because some glacier melting is happening there. Some issues were happening on this Yangtze River. Few years back, this was also again in news, this area or this around locality due to this India-Nepal border issues. Pithoragarh district. So what is this issue regarding India and Nepal? Basically, Kali River is flowing. India is claiming that the ridge is the boundary between India and Nepal. Ridge area should be the boundary between India and Nepal. And Nepal is claiming the river itself should form the boundary. So there is some area that is disputed. Yes. Let's go ahead. So first option is anyway wrong. Second is Sava Lake. Where is it? It is one of the ancient lake in Iraq. It has recently been completely dried up. It was a very major wetland in Iraq few years back due to climate change, due to government policies which is against the ecosystem or over exploitation. The lake has been completely dried up in this year 2022, last year. So this is in Iraq. We have two options wrong. What is coast city? Where is coast city? Coast city, there has been a major earthquake in Afghanistan in the recent past. So this earthquake happened near coast city. So Afghanistan is always in news due to some kind of Taliban movement and some kind of XYZ. So whatever are the major cities in Afghanistan, you should have a very good clarity of it. Same goes for Ukraine also. And last is, this is correct, Nagar Desert. Nagar Desert is in Israel itself. So what is option here? What is answer here? Two options are correct, so only two. B is the right answer. Okay. The idea why we put this map and all this, at least you will have to have some memory or so connects that whenever you see these places in option, you should able to connect it with Israel or somewhere in the Central Asia or this whichever places we are referring to. Otherwise, these are very factual questions. There is nothing much conceptual in it. Thing is, at the end of all the classes you are attending, you should have a detailed list of major geographical locations that can come in the exam. Mostly whatever question that is coming from this area is all directly taken from news. Some very major development is happening. That's why main focus is on Afghanistan, Ukraine, all these areas. Okay, let's go ahead. Take 30 seconds and solve this question. Poll you can. Solved? 1 and 2. Okay. How you reach the answer? Any suggestion? All is not given in the question, right? Let's try to solve this. What is it with respect to leadership for industry transition? So what is the key takeaway from this? Wherever you see transition, you can connect it with two aspects. Either it will be something related to this industry to 4.0, that is artificial intelligence or some kind of new technology that is coming up, or it will be related to clean energy. So suppose you don't know this question, lead IT, you are not factually aware about. How you approach this question? First option is it is launched by India and Sweden. Both countries are very active. India is also very active in launching some new initiatives. So suppose this, we keep it on hold. The initiative focuses on transition of global economic order towards industry 4.0. Second option is strictly focusing on this aspect, that it is something related to 4.0, artificial intelligence, new emerging technologies that is in news. Third option, countries and companies that are committed to achieve Paris Agreement target are members of this initiative. So this is related to climate. This is related to 4.0. So what is takeaway from this? Suppose you are approaching this question without having complete knowledge on lead IT initiative. How you approach this? One thing you can be very sure about, 2 and 3 both cannot be part of the answer. Though both are speaking of totally different ideas. One is Industry 4.0, that is focusing on emerging technologies. The second one is clean energy or climate change, Paris Agreement. All this is in the third option. So at least even if you don't know much about lead IT, you should be able to reach a conclusion by reading the statements that 2 and 3 cannot be, both cannot be true. So what is correct, we have to find at least two options you can to a good extent eliminate. Not that it will work in all questions, everywhere it is applicable, so not universal, but still by applying some kind of thought process, you can at least eliminate two options. Now if you still don't know, you are risky, you can either go for a guess, at least there is 50% chance of getting right. Okay, now if actually we apply what is lead IT, second option is wrong. It is nowhere connected to Industry 4.0. It is all related to climate change and all. Details of which you can read here. It has been launched in recently by India and Sweden itself. Same set of countries. Then all the related developments is somewhere related to climate change. Companies and countries who are part of Paris climate change itself is the part of it. Okay, more details you can go through this explanation or the handout which you are having. So answer the third question, take 30 seconds and answer third question. हो गया? What is answer? One option you are very sure of, third one is correct. So you can eliminate option A. 3 still remaining. These things you are not sure about. Okay, let's try to solve this. It is about radio frequency identifier, RFID technology. Where we see this technology recently? In toll collection and all. It uses, let's read the statement, it uses millimeter wave spectrum band to transmit data. So it's very specific data like millimeter wave. Where we have seen this? In recent past, millimeter wave spectrum has been in use for so many reasons. Can you recollect any recent incidents? Or this is somewhere related to 5G. Every time there is 5G spectrum is also called millimeter wave spectrum. So if you don't know, there is some interference between 5G spectrum and RFID, same frequency wavelengths have some interference, then only you can correctly match it. Otherwise, this is a very tough option otherwise to know. Both are radio waves and both even has some common frequencies. So a millimeter wave is already in 5G, which you may be aware about. There it is also a part of RFID also. There are millimeter wave RFID tools. Even though the RFID we use in toll, these are very low frequency ones, not the millimeter wave ones. But the technology can be for this also. RFID do not require line of sight to obtain data. So what is answer for this? Line of sight usually come into picture when there is Li-Fi, something related to light. Visible spectrum is there in all radio frequencies doesn't require 5G doesn't require line of sight. So second option is also mostly correct. Third option is passive RFID tags are powered by reader and do not have battery. So here you can think of two types RFIDs technologies are available. Active one is directly powered by battery. Passive one will not have battery. It is powered by the reader itself. Third statement is also correct. So here answer is 1, 2 and 3. Yeah, yes, it. Okay, let's move to fourth question. Yeah, this is the range which I was talking about. RFID technology range from 300 megahertz to 3 gigahertz, whereas 5G is from 1 to 6 gigahertz. It's not that every full length broad range will be used for recent 5G or RFID. We'll be using very narrow range, but the technology bandwidth is this much. And thing to note here is there is some level of interference between these two. So millimeter wave technology can be used for RFID as well as 5G. So in this question, all options are correct. Correct answer is D. So solve this question. Take 30 seconds and solve fourth question. Okay, what you answered? You marked D. Waiver related to trade related aspect of TRIPS. Okay, so what is the question? Public interest standard endorsed by India and South Africa at WTO 2084 related to which of the following? This question is very easy. Why? It was so many times in news. If you have read some newspaper regarding the COVID times, the demand for waiving TRIPS throughout the pandemic, there was WTO demand for waiving TRIPS, and India and South Africa were also prominent countries in front of it. What is status of this proposal? It was endorsed even by USA at one point, and there was so much enthusiasm, something will be happening. But at the end of the day, nothing happened. There was no waiver provided for COVID vaccines. So this question is very easy. It becomes very tough if only public interest standard endorsed at WTO, like that a question is being made. This becomes easy because which countries are also given. So India and South Africa are being part of waiver proposal on TRIPS at WTO. What is TRIPS basically? IPR agreement at WTO. Okay. So nothing much more in this question. Let's go ahead. Answer must be D. Answer the fifth question. Take 30 seconds and answer the fifth question. How you answer this question? Thing is how we should approach so many option type question. The idea is try to pick out one option which you are 100% sure it is correct, or which you are 100% sure it is wrong. So in this question, which can you pick out? It is related to agency. Which can you pick out? Poland, if you know, it is part of eastern part of Europe. So it will not be, it is part of Arctic Sea, western part of Europe. This cannot be part of agency. So if fourth option you eliminate, which all will be eliminated? Sadly, only one option will be eliminated. If you can think this much, that Italy also somewhere regarded near the Poland, Germany and all, it also cannot be part of agency. You can eliminate 5 also. So you will get the answer. Turkey and Greece is the answer. So map you can see here. All the seas in Central Asia and between Central Asia and Europe, you should be very thorough about. Aegean Sea, Mediterranean Sea, all the seas which are somewhere in news, like due to Ukraine war, all these seas are somewhere, some ship is going, some XYZ development is happening, North Sea, Node Stream pipeline thing is happening. So somewhere it is all in use. Take a map, do study all the ports in use, all the regions regarding the countries around the sea. We have done a question in first class, Nord Stream pipeline. Test also, yeah, yes. I'm not exactly remembering, check it out. You should not miss that. These kind of very prominent data. Go ahead. It is going through North Sea. It is going to North Sea. Whichever countries, you check it out. Yeah, answer the 6th question. All you can. So what have you answered? C. Which of the following terms of reference are taken into account to set minimum support price, MSP? Intercrop price parity, international price situation, implications of MSP on consumers of that product. So who sets MSP? Cabinet, not cabinet committee, Commission for Agricultural Cost and Prices, CSEP. This committee will recommend, this committee is under Ministry of Agriculture. This committee recommends MSP for how many crops? Yeah, 23, right? 23 crops MSP will be declared, then sugar will be also there. Sugar, it is not per se MSP, it is FRP, fair and remunerative prices. Then Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. This committee will approve MSP and declare MSP, whatever it is. Okay. So which are different factors that is taken into consideration? All these are part of MSP. All these factors are taken into consideration. Demand and supply, cost of production, price trends in the market, intercrop price parity, terms of trade, 50% should be above the cost of production, likely implications on consumers. All these are taken at some point taken into consideration. Okay. International price trends in domestic and international markets are also part of it. Go ahead. Firstly, answer the 7th question. हो गया? Tell me what is the answer. You mark C, okay. So consider the following statements with reference to National E-Vidhan project. It aims to make paperless proceedings in all legislatures in the country. Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology is the nodal ministry for doing this. It is a central sponsored scheme under Digital India program. Tell me how you are going to answer this. Suppose you don't know much about it. What are logic you can apply in this question? Whenever there is a ministry, mind should strike. Very easy to make it wrong. And there has been history of question where this ministry is being asked differently. So this can go wrong. But it is not like in every question you see ministry should be taken. First you look at your reference. Look at your knowledge base. Can any other ministry be taking up this? Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs. This can be one ministry who is taking up the same project. So you can take, to some extent, second option can be wrong. If you exactly don't know, then it is obviously wrong. Even if you don't know in such question where you have to go for a risk, you have to identify eliminated two options, then you have to go for the risky selection, then take the ministries whichever it is coming in the question, there is high chance it can go wrong. What else you can know from this? It is given that all legislatures. Either you can go with one approach. If it is only for, suppose you are taking that all is wrong. All legislatures is not part of it. So national e-Vidhan means it should be parliament project. Now if it is parliament project, how it can be central sponsored scheme? Central sponsored scheme means what? Some X% will be funded by the center, then a good amount of Y% will be supported by the state. When state should support, if there is parliament digitization is going on, why should state go and fund it? So either if this is wrong, this should also be wrong. If one is wrong, then three should also be wrong. Or in vice versa, if one you are taking it right, if digitization of legislatures is being taken into consideration, then it can be central sponsored scheme. State should also be given some funding. You might have heard some news, some Kerala and some other states legislature, some new building is making. There is criticism of making highly luxurious central secretariats. Central legislatures are making highly luxurious way. So these are, and criticism is not against center, criticism against state government. So whatever this, how should be legislatures should be built, where it should be built, when then Andhra Pradesh was split into having 3 capital policies. In all these cases, all these decisions are taken by state government. So this is something which is under the ambit of state government. So to some extent 3 can be right. So what is high probability in this question? We don't have any option like one only or none of the above. So best option is take 3 as wrong. All legislatures can be true and it should be central sponsored scheme. 1 and 3 is the correct answer. It's not like you can apply any kind of logic and reach the answer. But thing is, you should be able to do this extrapolation within the exam time. You should be able to do this within the pressure of the exam, within limited time and all this. You should be able to make your thought process and apply it to some other knowledge which you are base having. Okay. Go ahead, answer the 8th question. All details are there. You can pause or you can pause the video and you can read out the details. It will be there in your document also. Go ahead. This is 8th question. Yeah, tell me what is answer? You mark B. So what is this scheme about?
Recruitment of candidates in armed forces and thinning of armed forces. Main objective is thinning.
Instead of giving permanent cadre, recruits will be given only how much years of service? 4 years. It's very basic data. Recruits will be recruited for 4 years. After that, they will be given a lump sum amount. And there will not be no pension, otherwise other allowances, and they can join any other diploma certificate will be provided. They can go for any other job after 4 years. So what all you should know about Agnipath scheme? What is age? Who can all apply? 17 to, government started with 21. Then there was all protest and all these things. Government increased this to 23. 17.5 to 23 is the exact age limit of the scheme now. Is it applicable for men and women both? Is there women provision also in Agnipath scheme? It is not there. Currently the scheme is only for men. For women it will be expanded in the next step, or next further expansion will be, women will be considered. Right now it is only for men. So basic funda of the scheme is recently launched and there has been n number of controversies around the scheme. So basic XYZ of the scheme you should be well aware of. It is, recruits are taken for 4 years. Half year it will be training, in-house training, and 3.5 year there will be attachment to some services. Which ministry is undertaking all this? Defense or Home Affairs? It is all taken by Ministry of Defense. Now after completion of the term, 25% of those recruited under the scheme will be inducted into regular cadre of the armed forces. This is correct or wrong? This is right. Maximum 25% of the candidate will be taken as a permanent cadre, rest will be relieved. Okay. So one more logic you can think of here. Here we have both statements are very factual. One is the selected candidates will be enrolled in 5 years, very factual. Other option we have 25%. So usual trend which we see is in those questions where there is 2-3 options, every option is having fact, there is high chance at least one of the fact will be correct and other facts may be wrong. At least think on this regard when you get a statement, all statements are fact based. Okay. Otherwise we will say that if you see fact, you should think that it should be mostly wrong. There is high chance it can be wrong. But if all statements or 2 or 3 statements are having fact itself, then consider that it can, one of the fact can be right, others will be wrong. Go ahead. Answer the 9th question. So tell me what is answer? Mark C, 1 and 3. What is stagflation?
Low growth rate accompanied by high inflation.
Low GDP growth, high inflation. To make things worse, you can add unemployment rate is also high. So every indicator is going bad, that is kind of stagflation. What is deflation? Here there are 2 things which you want to know. One is deflation, other is disinflation. There is something like, what is deflation?
Inflation pace is reducing.
Deflation is absolute term opposite of inflation. Inflation price is increasing to some extent. Deflation means price is dropping. Price of some XYZ is dropping. Drop in price of goods and services over a period of time is deflation. What is disinflation? Rate of inflation is reducing. Either suppose we have 8% inflation for this month, next month we have 6% inflation. Then what is happening is still prices are increasing, but the rate of increase is decreasing over a period of time. That is disinflation. Deflation is same as what is given in the statement. It is direct drop in the price of goods and services. What is built-in inflation? Built-in inflation is like a spiral of inflationary spiral. What happens here is some XYZ past events will be influencing the inflation rate in the future. For example, suppose some drought happened and there has been shortage of some food crops and there has been inflation in 1 year. Now going into next year, people will expect that this year also during the same period of time, there is tendency the same thing can be repeated. And what happens is people when have expectation of inflation, what they do? Workers will start demanding higher wages. So at one side, wages will increase cost of production. So one incident is leading to other, and past incidents are leading to inflation in the future. So this kind of system is called built-in inflation. What is given here? Rise in inflation due to expansionary policies of government. It has no direct connection to expansionary policies of government. So this is wrong statement. 1 and 2 are correct. So correct answer is A. Okay. Go ahead. Answer the 10th question. Okay. What you answered? It's a very fundamental question, basic Rajya Sabha election question. With reference to Rajya Sabha election, consider the following statement. The term of members of Rajya Sabha has been fixed by the constitution. It's absolutely wrong. How it is fixed? Constitution only says one thing. What? Rajya Sabha is a permanent house and it is not subjected to dissolution. Every other factors are decided under Representation of People's Act 1951. It is under this act what is fixed? 6-year term is fixed. 1/3 of the members will retire after every 6 years. 1/3 members will be retired after every 2 years. Term of one member will be 6 years. All these they are decided under the Representation of People's Act, not directly by the Constitution. What is second statement? Cross voting in Rajya Sabha does not attract disqualification under defection law. How is voting in Rajya Sabha done? Single transferable vote is there. Open ballot voting system is there. Open ballot voting system means what is it? Before voting, a party agent will be sitting there and you are supposed to show your vote to the agent. If you cross vote it, if you voted against the XYZ party suggestion, party member will already know it. It is open voting and it is single transferable vote, that you are not exactly giving vote in the general election, you are to rank the candidates according to your preference. So this according to Supreme Court, this doesn't attract defection law. Every legislator is free to choose his own candidate. That is considered as a part of his freedom of responsibilities and doesn't attract defection law. Being said, since the party member will be knowing which party your XYZ MLA is voting, party can take disciplinary action against this member. But as such, defection law is not applicable in Rajya Sabha elections. Okay. So what will be answer here? Answer will be both statements are wrong, neither one nor two. Answer the 11th question. Okay. Tell me what you answered. You mark D. G20. Okay, suppose you don't know this answer. I think you don't know it already. How are you going to answer this? Partnership for Global Infrastructure and Investment Initiative has been seen as a glimmer for investment in India. This is an initiative launched by. So what is the key takeaways from this? There is global infrastructure investment. These are things, key takeaways. Now if a European Union is launching XYZ project, why should it go for global infrastructure investment? It is not like EU cannot go, but the chances are very less. It is not the EU's XYZ point of interest to develop infrastructure in India or developing country other part of the world. EU may be least scared of this. EU itself is owing recession, all these crises are impacting Western world so much. So it is not less chance EU can be part of it. World Bank, it is already calling it as a partnership. Partnership means some countries may be part of it, some grouping may be part of it. World Bank, very less chance again. It may be funding XYZ scheme for infrastructure funding in some countries, but initiating some partnership by World Bank itself, by bringing together XYZ countries, there is very small chance. Now we are left with two options, G7 or G20. Can you apply any guess on this? Why you answered G20? Recent happening in what? G20. G20 recently in news, so you answered G20. Answer is G7. The conceptual base for this partnership is what it can be. Why G7 countries? Who are G7 countries? Mostly the advanced countries like USA, first world countries. What is these countries' current challenge they are facing? We have so much times discussed the current China is having a big threat to all the developed country systems. China is weaponizing trade. Trade advantage is having. And from export of goods and services, now things are moving into export of infrastructure by development of BRI, Belt and Road Initiative. So to counter Belt and Road Initiative, so many schemes are being developed. So this is also a part of such a scheme, Partnership for Global Infrastructure and Investment Initiative. G7 is the countries who are taking the initiative forward. So your answer will be B. You can read about this in document also, you will have more data. Okay. Answer the 12th question. It's a very easy question, I guess. Yes. Beijing Declaration for Declaration and Platform for Action is related to women empowerment of women, visionary document. When it was signed? 1995 by Beijing. This is a very famous declaration. India is also a part of it. Recently it is in news because BRICS countries had endorsed it. Some XYZ developments are going regarding it. So that's why in news. Otherwise it's a very easy, straightforward question. Okay, 189 countries are part of it. Rest details you can go through from the document. Answer the 13th question. Okay. So what you answered? A, very right. No cargo, it is about INSTC, International North-South Transport Corridor. No cargo has been transported via INSTC as of now. How can this be correct? Why is this in news? Why is INSTC in news in recent past? Which all countries INSTC is connecting? Russia is one way, XYZ connected to Pakistan, India. So what is the point of interest in recent past between India and Russia? Since the war against Ukraine, Russia is offering India oil at cheap prices, and India has many times increased its trade with Russia, especially the crude oil. Now, you can see in the map, India is promoting India, Iran and other countries in this INSTC framework. They are promoting more goods to be transported through INSTC. Okay, and there has been already some goods are moving, and there has been some talks with the countries inland to increase the capacity of this transport of goods. Around 30% less travel time is required compared to the normal route to transport of crude oil from Russia to India. So that's why this is in news. If you at least gone through this news once, you can directly eliminate third option. What is other part? It is incorrect what is asked. So 3 should be part of it. A cannot be the answer. Ashgabat agreement, what is it? It is totally different agreement for transport of similar multimodal transport connecting XYZ countries in Central Asia with Persian Gulf and all. India is also a part of it. But it is nowhere directly related to INSTC. Ashgabat agreement is not part of INSTC. Second statement is also wrong. Both Russia and Ukraine are part of INSTC. What is it? Whichever countries Russia and Ukraine are part of, you should be aware of it. Both these countries are part of it. So what is the answer for this question? 2 and 3. B is the correct answer, because incorrect is what is asked. Okay. Otherwise, it's a very factual question. Let's go ahead. Answer the 14th question. Okay. Yeah. Take time. What you answered? Your answer D. Yes, answer is also given. Yeah. Gross NPS in India has increased in last 5 years due to COVID restriction. As COVID is happening, gross NPS is increasing. Everyone can understand. But continuously increasing for last 5 years, that cannot be true. There will be XYZ variations. First option you can easily eliminate. What is second option? Low levels of provisioning by banks and narrows the gap between gross and net NPA. Here you should have some conceptual clarity. What is NPA?
If an entity which has taken loan and if it defaults for 1 month,
It's 90 days. If any XYZ loan that is not serviced, that is interest or principal, any of some of the XYZ amount is not paid to the bank for 90 days, it becomes what? It becomes NPA. Now, if it becomes NPA for 12 months, if it less than 12 months, it is remaining as an NPA, then what is it called? Substandard asset. Okay. Now with more than 12 months, it is remaining as NPA. It is called doubtful asset. Now if it is still not improving, if it remained this much for n number of times, bank will decide loss asset. Loss asset means what? Not written off. Loss asset means there is very low chance any substantial recovery can be made from that. It is not completely deleted from the balance sheet of the bank. Only that bank considers this, there is very little scope for recovery from that XYZ asset. Such asset is called loss asset. So how bank address all this? How bank try to address the risk of increasing NPAs of XYZ NPA turning into substandard asset or doubtful asset or loss asset? That is by provisioning. Yes. What is provisioning means? Suppose a XYZ amount has turned into NPA. Suppose you have taken 100 rupees. And if you are a very good customer, like you are already having high credit score, you are already repaying all your loans correctly. So if you that kind of customer, there is low risk category. Low risk means bank has to keep very less money as security for this or safety for this. Now suppose it turned into an NPA. Turned into NPA means chance of recovery is reducing. According to reducing chance of recovery, bank has to suppose 30% when it turn NPA for the first time. It has to keep this money from either from its profits or from the capitalization XYZ processes going on. It has to allot this 30% when it turned into NPA as provisioning amount. Now when it from NPA it becomes substandard asset, this 30% will again increase. Now when it becomes doubtful asset, it again increase. When it becomes loss asset, almost 100% of the NPA bank has to keep as provision. Okay. So what is, this is concept. Now what is gross NPA? In absolute terms, how much is defaulted? How much of worth of loan is defaulted? So 100 rupees itself is gross NPA. Suppose it turned NPA and banks have provided 30 rupees as provisioning. Now net NPA is gross NPA minus provisioning. Okay. So here 30 rupees banks have kept for provisioning. 100 minus 30, 70 will be net NPA. So this much of conceptual clarity you should have. Now read the statement again. Low levels of provisioning by banks narrows the gap between gross and net NPA. Is it correct or wrong? How can it be wrong? Suppose low provisioning is done. 20 rupees is provisioned only. Then net NPA is become 80. 80 means gap is narrowing. If 10 rupees only is provisioned by banks, then net NPA is 90. The gap between net and gross NPA is only 10 rupees. So if bank is putting no provisioning, then net NPA and gross NPA are both same. So the statement is very much correct. Low levels of provisioning means gap between gross and net NPA is getting diminished or reducing. This statement is right. It's a very conceptual statement. You should have some clarity in order to answer it correctly. This is wrong. So answer here. You have to pick the correct option. 2 only is the correct answer. Okay. No, only yes, principal amount. Provisioning, why provisioning is being done? In which case you are asking? I'm not understanding. That means like that is accounting details only. After XYZ term, if amount is not coming, it will be added to and all. Otherwise, there is no conceptual meaning into this, what you are asking. Like interest will be part of NPA or not, that is first year maybe or first time it may not be part, but it is remaining NPA for n number of years. At later part, bank can decide on what XYZ to do. But there is no point in that also, because if principal itself is not coming back, then writing more as NPA, bank will not be interested also. No, net NPA is only related to provisioning. Okay. No, nothing related to interest. Only provisioning is the conceptual thing which you have to keep in note of mind. Okay, go ahead. Answer the 15th question. Hedge Maru, thanks a lot. Thank you. हो गया? What do you have answered? A. Good. Union government has established Commission for Air Quality Management body to solve XYZ pollution of Delhi region. Consider the statement regarding. So suppose if you don't know much about it, what you are going to do here? It replaces EPCA. Government EPCA was brought in by Supreme Court. XYZ judgments, that's not important. And government was supposed to over some years has to bring in some legal, legislative, statutory authority. So this can be very much feasible option. At least you know that you have read somewhere that EPCA is brought in by Supreme Court. What else? It has superseding powers, central and state pollution control boards. It also can be very much feasible option. If a new body is being constituted and new body is being constituted by under Supreme Court direction, all this XYZ is going on, there is high chance it can be given superseding powers under this. What is third option? Lieutenant Governor of Delhi is the chairman of this new committee. It's a very specific committee, very technical committee, and it will be functioning under some XYZ ministry of the state government. So a committee that is functioning under some ministry, how Lieutenant Governor of Delhi can be chairman of that committee? So third option you should be completely eliminate. Which even if you are going for guess, at least guess from A and D. You should be, even if you don't know nothing about this committee, you should be able to eliminate third option and reach a 50% chance of getting answer right. Okay. In this question, answer is A itself. 1 and 2 statements are correct. Third is wrong. More about the committee, you can go through here or you can go through your document which is provided to you. Okay. It is state government, part of state. It's not, state government ministries are not that important. Go ahead. 16th question, answer this. Answered? Tell me what you answered. Shrestha scheme. It is related to SC/ST education scheme. Residential schools are being promoted. Under which ministry it will be? Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Option is B. Nothing much conceptual in this. More of a very factual question. If you know, you should answer. If you don't know, nothing you don't know about it, try to connect it, the words rashta, try to connect its meaning which were reflecting. And you can, if you really want to take a risk, you can go for it. Still you are not able to reach any connection, leave the question. Okay. Consider the following, answer the 17th question. Okay, what is answer? You marked C, 1 and 3. Good. Have you reached the answer? Attapakka Bird Sanctuary, where is it? Okay, at least you are reaching somewhere around. It is in Andhra Pradesh. At least it is in, not in Odisha. That much you know. This will be eliminated, then only one option is left. That is C. Kali Tiger Reserve, where is it? It is in Karnataka itself. First world, what is it? Orchidarium is being established at this place. Kali Tiger Reserve in Karnataka. Attapakka Bird Sanctuary, why is it in news? Kollairu Lake, is there some XYZ protection, wetland protection, Ramsar event, all this something related to bird is happening. That is Attapakka Bird Life Sanctuary. And what is third one? Non-Kalam Wildlife Sanctuary in Meghalaya. Why this is in news? Some XYZ species. Scientists say new species of bamboo dwelling bat is been discovered from this area. Name of the species also you should take a note of it. So this species is a bat dwelling bamboo species. So this has been recently discovered from this XYZ wildlife sanctuary. That is why it is in news. So every class we are discussing some of the places in news. These certain themes are repeated in every class. Important wildlife sanctuaries, tiger reserves in news. By the end of the time, if you are keeping some note for this class only, you should have a detailed XYZ notes of all these places. Otherwise, there is no concept to learn all these places. It will be very hectic if you take the list and try to learn everything from the base. Okay, go ahead. Answer the 18th question. There is a flower based something like sanctuary, like protection thing. Go ahead. Okay, this is also a history question. Chantranatha Temple of Karnataka hosted International Yoga Day 2022. Consider the following statement regarding the temple. It is a Jain temple. It is built by Vijayanagara King Harihara II. What do you answer? Very factual question. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you very high chance you are going to miss it. Answer is A. It is itself a Jain temple. It is called Jain Varanasi of the South India. That much prominent Jain temple it is. And there is a most prominent 18 temples in the region. Speciality of this is, it is having 1000 pillars, or it is also known as temple of 1000 pillars. And no two pillars are same. Every pillar is having different kind of designs or different kind of artworks. Okay. Jain Tridankara Chandraprabha is the main deity of this temple, and this has been built by a local ruler, Devaraya Vadiyar. It is not built by Vijayanagara King Harihara II and all. It's a very factual question. It is in news, that's why we are following it in little bit more detail. Let's go ahead. Answer the 19th question. Okay. What is answer? You mark D. Very good. So what is the question? RBI has imposed tokenization rules for debit and credit cards. Which of the following about tokenization is right? No card will be allowed to de-tokenize. Why we are doing tokenization? Suppose you have to use the card for a XYZ payment and you don't really want to disclose the exact your card details and you're doing an online payment. You don't want to the XYZ site, you don't want to feed all your data. So to prevent that, you will be given a token card details. This token card will be only used for X number of months. It will not be having any personalized or high security data. So for this we are doing tokenization. So if we are doing tokenizing your cards, it cannot be such a permanent entity such that it cannot be de-tokenized. It may need to be de-tokenized when card is being changed. It may need to be de-tokenized when XYZ data you want to generate another token for this. So all these are feasible. De-tokenization cannot be done, that is an extreme option. Okay, so this will be wrong. Now tokenization of a card can be done by RBI only. What is takeaway from this? Who issues card? It is not by RBI, right? RuPay is issuing, Visa, Master, all these people are issuing the credit and debit cards. And these people are deciding the numbers, the data, all this on this card. Now why should RBI come and do tokenization of all the cards? It will be totally a very departmental work. Cannot be taken up by RBI. It will be all taken up by card issuer. Okay. So even if you don't know, you can apply some common sense. You can think and ponder upon it and try to reach some answers. At least in some questions, this is also an approach. So here it will be, both the options are incorrect. Answer will be D. Go ahead. Details are there, you can go through it. Answer this 20th question. Okay. Nixtamalization. If you are hearing this for the first time, you cannot relate to any of this. You have to leave this question. Otherwise, what is this? What you answered? You answered C. This is why I am saying you should leave if you cannot make any connection. If you can connect it with some of your base knowledge, if you know at least one option you can eliminate. You are guessing out of 3, it's still okay to do. But don't guess out of 4. Then it becomes completely random. Here the correct answer is option A. It is a technique used for maize fortification. So it's an ancient techniques that was used by ancient civilization and all. Recently it has been revived or some new processes has been added to this. So that's why it is in use. Okay, maize fortification is the key idea. Details you can go through it. Add some other nutrients which it doesn't have, or increase some properties, shelf value increase karo, some XYZ regarding it. Go ahead. Answer the 21st question. हो गया? What have you answered? You mark C. Good. So what is life mission? Reason COP 27 of UNFCCC, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has declared this life mission. What it's about? It is about adopting lifestyle that is sustainable with environmental demands or climate change issues that is going on. Now, if at least this much you know, now come to what are options we have. It tends to promote circular economy. What is circular economy? Reduce, recycle, or the idea is if some product is there at end of life, some waste things is produced, it can be used as input for some other processes. So reducing the wastage to almost zero level, that is idea of circular economy. Is it consistent with the idea of life mission? Very much consistent. Sustainability, climate change, all these are all interrelated concepts. Why even circular economy is in news? Due to same reason itself, increase the sustainability, reduce the carbon footprint. That is a basic idea. So one can be right. It explicitly mentions to achieve Paris Agreement goals. Now explicitly means what? It is how I should explicitly mention this. Like it is very much in line with Paris Agreement goals. It supports to achieve Paris Agreement goals. But it is not like it is something a scheme to achieve XYZ goals. That is not a part of it. So this is an extreme statement that you can take it wrong. Okay, what is third option? Life mission has added to India's NDC targets. If you remember the lifeline of life mission, it is launched till 2030. India's NDC targets all targets except this zero emission target or zero, what is it? Net zero emissions. Except net zero, what year India aims to achieve it? Net zero by 2070. Except net zero, all other targets we have kept for 2030. And recently government also released a document by adding this life mission also into these NDC targets. So this is also correct. 1 and 3 are correct, 2 is wrong. So your answer will be C itself. Okay. Do read about life mission. More details will be in the document. Otherwise Google search and prepare it very thoroughly, because somewhere it is very much related to the Prime Minister has been launched and there is high chance for coming in the exam. Okay. Go ahead. Answer 22nd question. Yeah, what you answered? Maxi, answer is D, all of the above. So what all are these? Can you remember any of these? What is this? Which one? Third one? Second one? How can a plant be decomposer? So that's why you eliminated an answer this. All these are fungus. Fungus, bacteria, all these elements, what they do? They all so much support decomposers. Let's, very factual question, nothing conceptual. Mucor is a more and funky, generally first saprophyte colonize on dead plant and elements. What is saprophyte? Saprophytes mean those organisms which derive their nutrient from dead elements, dead plants or animals itself. So mucor is the first saprophyte that decolonizes a dead plant or decaying plant material. Okay. Aspergillus, it is another type of fungus very common for indoor and outdoor. People breathe this fungus every day and all. It is very common fungus that may be in this room and all other room. Aspergillus. Agaricus, it is a type of mushroom. All mushrooms are also a type of fungus that is also derived saprophytic itself, derive their nutrients from dead elements. With over 400 members, some are edible, some are poisonous also. Otherwise, it's a very factual question. Go ahead. Try to answer 23rd question. Yeah, what is answer? Very easy question. Why this question coming into picture? Recently, Prime Minister unveiled the national emblem at this new Parliament building, and there was a lot of controversy also regarding that. Must be aware of it. The tiger is having some other expression. So, motto written below the emblem Satyamev Jayate is taken from Muntaka Upanishad. It is absolutely a right option. The emblem is an adaptation of land capital of Ashoka from. It is from Sarnath. It is not from Rampurva. From Rampurva, what is? Single land capital, something like that is more famous. And not the national emblem wala things. So correct answer here is A1 only. This is a Sarnath land capital. You can see it. Go ahead. Yeah, answer this question. What is answer? Answered C, good. So what is first option? Why we are discussing all this? This question was there in last class also. Yes, yes. Lithium is somewhere around that is becoming a most critical element of international diplomacy itself. US companies including this Elon Musk, which company? Tesla, that is investing hugely in these countries and they are exploiting. There is so many news, and wherever there is lithium reserves, there is so much controversy, so much issues around circling that. So what is lithium triangle? There is a set of 3 countries having, you can see in the map, 3 countries in South America having good number of lithium reserves. Which are these countries? Bolivia, Chile and Argentina itself. What is the second option? Lithium can be mined from rock or from processed brine. That is also a right option. What is brine? How lithium is extracted? Since this is such an important topic, you should have a brief picture. How it is extracted? By means, suppose XYZ lithium is here, water will be pumped, not water, salt solution. Salt solution will be pumped underground at some high pressure. Now this salt solution will get spreaded in the area, and what this salt solution do? It dissolves all the lithium is an ion, Li plus. So all the lithium get dissolved in this salt solution. Now this solution is left like this for a couple of months. It is highly time consuming process. Now when this is left like this, it got evaporated and the concentration of a concentrated thick solution will be in the end formed. This will be having good amount of lithium that can be commercially extracted. So this is a basic process of extraction of lithium. Brine is the solid, like the solution that is left over after evaporation, that is called brine. Both these options are correct. So answer will be C itself. Yes, yes, yes. Bolivia, some extraction is going on. Even this Venezuela issue was going on. Some countries were trying to get more investment in it, and controversies were going on. Go ahead. Which of the following countries are members of Asia Pacific Council? Done? Okay. So what you have written? C, good. How to answer this? Asia Pacific Council. Asia Pacific Council, India may be not part of it. At least Russia cannot be part of it. Russia is even not part of APEC. Most of the Asia Pacific grouping, you cannot see Russia. Two options you can eliminate at least. Then you can go for GUS. If you know India is also not part of it, then you will get C. Otherwise, you will have to take a 50% chance risk. This is nothing much about this organization. Recently, this organization came with a statement that we are not a military based organization, or militarization is not the aim of the organization. It is only for economic, cultural and other things. So that's why it is being news. You can note down which are the countries or a part of it. Nothing much is more important regarding it. Go ahead. Answer 26 question. Answered anything? You have nicely pointed out all options are wrong. Why it is? Because there is two schemes having the same name. One is Nipun Bharat scheme. We have discussed in first class also, I think. Nipun Bharat scheme is correct. Nipun Bharat scheme is Ministry of Education. 3 to 9 years ago, students. Focus area is giving basic literacy, numeracy, education, that kind of things of very small children. That is scheme by Ministry of Education. This is another scheme, National Initiative for Promoting Upskilling of Nirman. Nipun initiative was launched by which ministry? Can you relate to something? Nirman is there, so it should be related to construction. Which option is most related to construction sector? Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Very good attempt. Answer is correct. It is not like you can answer every question in like this. Don't get into that hi-fi mode. But at least in some question you can go for it, and it does work. This initiative is initiative of Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs under this Deen Dayal Antyodaya National Urban Livelihood Mission. Okay. Go ahead, answer 27 question. This is an interesting question. हो गया? What is answer? You answered B, 2 and 3. Okay. Very interesting question, because consider the following statement regarding critical information infrastructure, CIA. First statement is CIA is defined under IT Act 2000. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. Ministry of Home Affairs is the nodal agency to protect CIA. Again, say ministry is there, you can be little bit tricky about it. Which other ministry can be part of it? Ministry of IT, MET. Ministry of Electronics and IT can also be part of it. IT resources of private banks can be declared as CIA. How you answer this? This question, if you don't go and read the IT Information Act, these cannot be solved like that. It should only be solved if you know the current affairs news regarding it. What is the news? 3 institutions has been declared recently as critical information infrastructure. Infrastructure of ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank. What is third institution? Who formed UPI? NPCI. Infrastructure of NPCI. So these 3 institutions, IT infrastructure has been recently declared as critical information infrastructure. That's why we are even taking this question. So even if you, at least you have gone through this news, you can know that third should be right. 3 should be right. Either of these 3 should be the answer. Ministry of Home Affairs is not the nodal ministry. MET is the nodal ministry. Or infrastructure, IT, all these things like cyber security, all these mostly are coming under MET. So second option is wrong. 2 is wrong. Then it can be only this, either C or either D. CII, this is very factual part. If you know, you have to know, otherwise you have to go for a guess. This is also a correct statement. CII is defined under the IT Act 2000. So correct answer here will be C. Okay, go ahead. Details are provided, you can go through it. More details will be in the doc. You can check out. Answer the 28th question. What are these? Martial art forms. Why this is in news? Recently, what happened? Rural Olympics, that was long back. Recently, what happened? This is 28. 26, we have this Republic Day parade and all. Some states, almost all states will be having some kind of art forms from their respective state. At least go through the list. If there is something relevant to UPSC, make a note of it. So Shilampam is from? It is from Tamil Nadu. All these options are correct. Musti Yuddha, that is from Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh. Kati Samu, that is from Andhra Pradesh itself. Okay. List of other martial arts and details will be provided. Go ahead. 29 question. हो गया? So what do you, how you answer this?
First statement is bit okay, because we are moving towards
privatization of space sector. So much enthusiasm pushing is given to private engagement in the space sector. And in space is directly created to cater this purpose itself. Cater, promote and handhold the private sector for their participation in space sector. If you know something related to in space, that is absolutely right statement, first one. So D cannot be our option. What else? InSpace has incorporated a subsidiary called New Space India Limited. New Space India Limited is a total new entity. It is not something which is under InSpace or something like that. 2 is wrong statement. Its headquartered is 2 is wrong. This will also go. It's headquartered in Bangalore, Karnataka. Why Bangalore? ISRO headquarters is in Bangalore, but InSpace headquarters is in Ahmedabad. It's a very factual information. It is in Ahmedabad, and third option will be again wrong. So what is correct answer here? A1 only. It's been few years InSpace being launched. Don't do too much research on it, but basic facts you should be well aware of. So answer the 30th question. Don't read the answer for time being. So last question for today. What option you marked? D. Which of the option is correct? Let's see. Agni 4. What is Agni project? Ballistic missile, intercontinental. It is cannot be cruise missile. What is cruise and ballistic difference? Cruise means something it will travel like this and hit it. Ballistic means it will be going into upper atmosphere, then coming back and hitting the target. So here there will be the range will be something like thousands of kilometers. Agni 5 we have range beyond 5,000 kilometers. Agni 4 means it is around 4,000 kilometer range. Cruise missile means range will be less. Okay. And ballistic missile mostly they are not launched from air. They are mostly launched from surface to surface. We are aiming at a target of 4,000 kilometer far. Something we are targeting above beyond 4,000 kilometer. Then what is the point of aiming it from the air? So it should be surface to surface missile. Okay, so second statement is wrong, first statement is wrong. It has been developed by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Now, who developed it? It should be developed by DRDO. Please some XYZ under the DRDO. It is not HAL. So all these are written here. More details you have in your doc. You can go through it. Go through Agni 5 also. And recently a new version of Agni P, something like that is being recently launched. Do go home and check it out what is the features of it. Okay. So yeah, that's all for today. Solve 30 question here. If you want more practice, you can check out the test series that is discussed in the early part of the lecture. That's all the best. Thank you.